1. What is the primary purpose of a grade point average GPA? A. To evaluate a student's intellectual potential. B. To measure the academic performance of a student. C. To determine the student's future career success. D. To assess the student's emotional intelligence. 2. Which of the following best describes the role of GPA in adult learning? A. It serves as the sole measure of learning. B. It helps identify areas where further support is needed. C. It has no relevance in adult education. It is only important in traditional academic settings. 3. What is the main criterion for calculating GPA in most educational institutions? A. The total number of credits completed. B. The weighted average of grades across courses. C. The number of assignments submitted. D. The frequency of attendance in class. 4. In adult education, why is it important to consider GPA when evaluating a learner's progress? A. It indicates a learner's ability to pass exams only. B. It provides insight into the learner's grasp of subject matter. C. It shows the learner's participation in extracurricular activities. D. It measures the student's overall happiness in the course. 5. How can GPA be used effectively in curriculum development? A. By using it to select only the highest performing students. B. By ensuring that learning objectives align with the assessment. C. By ignoring it as an irrelevant factor in educational planning. D. By focusing only on GPA as the measure of success. 6. Which of the following is a potential drawback of relying solely on GPA for evaluation in adult education? A. It can fail to capture the full extent of a learner's skills. B. It encourages students to focus more on grades than actual learning. C. It creates a fair and objective measure of all students' capabilities. D. It guarantees that all learners are treated equally. 7. In what way can GPA be used to identify students who may benefit from additional mentoring or support? A. By analyzing students' scores in only one subject area. B. By looking for students with consistently low GPAs across subjects. C. By reviewing only students who attend class regularly. D. By ignoring GPA and focusing only on class participation. 8. What is the best practice for communicating GPA-related feedback to adult learners? A. Providing GPA information once at the end of the course. B. Offering frequent, specific feedback on progress throughout the course. C. Presenting GPA results as the sole indicator of student success. D. Sharing GPA scores without any context for improvement. 9. Which of the following is most likely to lead to improved learning outcomes for adults in a course? A. Assigning a final GPA score without offering opportunities for improvement. B. Encouraging a growth mindset through feedback that connects effort to GPA outcomes. C. Focusing solely on GPA as a reflection of intelligence. D. Giving GPA feedback only at the end of the semester. 10. In the context of regulatory compliance, how should GPA information be handled? A. It should be shared publicly without restrictions. B. It should be kept confidential according to privacy regulations. C. It should be discarded once a course is completed. D. It should be made available only to the student's friends. 11. Which factors should be considered when determining the GPA scale in a specific educational program? A. The average number of courses a student takes. B. The standardization of grading across various courses. C. The instructor's personal grading preferences. The time spent on extracurricular activities. 12. Why is GPA an important factor when considering adult learners' readiness for certification exams? A. It ensures that students will pass all certification exams. B. It provides insight into their readiness and ability to retain knowledge. C. It reflects how well a student participates in group discussions. D. It serves as an arbitrary measure of student engagement. 13. Which of the following best supports using GPA to improve adult learners' academic success? A. Offering rewards based solely on GPA achievements. B. Providing opportunities for students to retake courses to improve GPA. C. Allowing students to bypass learning gaps without reflection. D. Prioritizing GPA over the understanding of subject content. 14. How should a mentor use GPA as part of the overall feedback to adult learners? A. By providing generalized advice without specific reference to the GPA. B. By reviewing GPA alongside qualitative feedback on student performance and growth. C. By focusing only on GPA as a measure of academic success. D. By ignoring GPA and focusing only on attendance records. 15. In which of the following situations would a GPA-based approach to grading be most beneficial? A. When assessing creativity in a project-based course. B. When measuring a student's consistency and overall academic performance. C. When evaluating a student's practical skills in a lab course. D. When reviewing the attendance of an online learner. 16. What is one of the limitations of using GPA as a measure of a student's overall potential? A. It does not consider the student's unique learning style or challenges. B. It accurately reflects the student's ability to handle coursework. C. It evaluates emotional intelligence and personal growth. D. It encourages students to aim for high grades, not understanding the material. 17. What role does GPA play in evaluating regulatory compliance in adult education programs? A. It determines whether the program is accredited. B. It helps ensure that students are meeting the minimum academic standards. C. It measures student participation in compliance workshops. D. It ensures that adult learners are aware of program costs. 18. How can adult learners use their GPA as a tool for self-assessment? A. By viewing GPA as the only measure of success. B. By tracking GPA alongside their personal and academic growth. C. By ignoring GPA results and focusing solely on completing assignments. D. By asking their instructors for a GPA-based analysis of their skills. 19. In what way can GPA be misleading when used as the sole measure of a student's performance? A. It may overlook the student's ability to apply learning in real-world scenarios. B. It always accurately reflects a student's ability to handle coursework. C. It encourages students to focus solely on grades rather than learning. D. It can provide a perfect assessment of every student's strengths and weaknesses. 20. Which of the following is a recommended method for incorporating GPA into a holistic assessment of an adult learner's success? A. Using GPA to predict a student's future performance without other assessments. B. Combining GPA with project-based evaluations, self-reflections, and peer feedback. C. Focusing on GPA as the sole determinant for graduation eligibility. D. Ignoring GPA altogether and focusing only on standardized tests. 21. What is an effective way to use GPA to help adult learners develop better study habits? A. By showing them their GPA without any context for improvement. B. By using GPA as a tool to discuss their strengths and areas for growth in a supportive environment. C. By punishing them for low GPA results. D. By comparing their GPA to that of other learners in the program. 22. How can instructors use GPA data to improve the effectiveness of their teaching methods in adult education? A. By using it as the only feedback on their teaching style. B. By analyzing patterns in GPA scores and adjusting teaching strategies accordingly. C. By assigning extra work to low GPA students without further explanation. D. By ignoring GPA and focusing solely on student attendance. 23. In adult education, why is it important to provide clear communication regarding GPA and grading criteria? A. To ensure students understand how their work contributes to their GPA. B. To confuse students with complicated and ambiguous grading policies. C. To create an unrealistic expectation of easy success in the course. D. To prevent students from tracking their academic progress. 24. What is the role of GPA when students need to meet external compliance standards, such as licensing requirements? A. It is irrelevant and does not affect compliance. B. It helps ensure that students meet the minimum academic requirements for certification. C. It prevents students from qualifying for licensure exams. D. It is used solely to track attendance in the program. 25. How should GPA be used in conjunction with other assessments for a comprehensive evaluation? A. As the primary measure of student success, disregarding other feedback. B. Combining GPA with project work, assignments, and class participation. C. As the only assessment tool for measuring learner progress. D. As a tool to rank students and label them as top performers or failures. 26. When determining GPA, why is it important to use a consistent grading scale across all courses? A. To ensure fairness and transparency in how grades are calculated. B. To allow instructors to grade based on personal preferences. C. To make GPA irrelevant and subjective. D. To increase competition among students for higher grades. 27. What is one potential disadvantage of using GPA to determine a student's eligibility for scholarships or financial aid? A. It may overlook other important factors such as financial need or personal challenges. B. It guarantees that students who need scholarships will always receive them. C. It only benefits the students with the highest GPA scores. D. It encourages students to focus exclusively on grades rather than developing skills.